This is our VPP video for our Lesson 8 vocabulary words. First word is desist. Hopefully you know what this word means already. Here's a sentence. Cease and desist, the lawyer said, repeating himself as usual. So cease is your clue as to what desist means because basically it means the same thing. If you tell someone to desist, then you are telling them to stop, to discontinue. So it's a verb. The majority of our words actually this week are verbs. Anyways, I might tell you guys to desist talking when I'm trying to get your attention. Your mom might say desist fighting with your brother or sister. Synonym, again, like I said, cease, end. Opposite would be to begin or start. Here's a picture. Just remember a stop sign. We've got a hand raised like your mom or even me as your teacher might put my hand out in front as a sign that you need to stop and desist whatever it is that you are doing. Our next word is effrontery. This is one that's not a verb. It's actually a noun. Effrontery dominated the political advertisements in the months before the election. Now, it's very hard to figure out what this word means from its context, and especially this is a word that you probably haven't heard used that much. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the definition. It means shameless boldness, impudence, which means being rude basically, nerve, audacity. Okay, so you might act with effrontery if you tell someone that they look terrible today. Or let's say one of my students gave an answer that was really not too smart to a question that I asked. I would be acting with effrontery, and I'd probably get fired if I told them how stupid they were to give me that answer. Okay, so it's rude behavior. The opposite is timidity. If somebody's very timid, then they're not going to be bold with their speech. So actually, this sentence is perfect for what we just went through in our country. I've seen a lot of elections in my time, and I think this was the worst for all the bold, shameless, ridiculous behavior that went on. So I put a picture of Donald Trump, and sorry if you like him. I know he is our next president, and I will respect that. But during the election, he definitely used effrontery. This picture is actually taken from the debate when he called Hillary Clinton a nasty woman. That is the perfect example of effrontery. Our next word is glean. Verb. Like I said, many verbs this week. Detective Thomas knew how to glean important information from even the most hostile witnesses. He's good at what he does. He has to gather information so he can make a decision about who to charge for a crime. And so he collects evidence bit by bit, gathers with patient labor. A synonym would be garner. The opposite would be disperse. So this word glean a lot of times is also used in agricultural contexts. So here's a picture showing that. It's kind of blurry, but you see people out in the fields gleaning after the harvest. Think about the story of Ruth in the Bible. Ruth goes to Boaz's fields to glean, gather the remnants so that she and her mother-in-law, Naomi, can have enough food to eat. So you can glean in the fields, or you can glean things that aren't actual physically able to be seen, things like evidence, things like information that we saw in the sentence on the previous slide. Our next word is elite. An elite corps of impudent snobs savagely mocked the computer nerds. Now, in this sentence, elite is being used as an adjective. It can be used as a noun as well, and that's what they give us for our part of speech, even though it's not used as a noun in this sentence. So that's a flaw on the part of the curriculum makers. But anyways, here's the definition. The choice members or best of a group. I don't really like this sentence because if a person is an elite member of a group, I know, I guess they could be snobby, but hopefully if they're leaders like the synonym is, they're not going to act in an impudent way or a rude way or show effrontery like the other word we just talked about. Common or multitude would be opposites. So Here's a picture, okay, of an elite group, Navy SEALs, the best of the best as far as the Navy goes. These guys are going to be sent on the most dangerous missions. Okay, they're elite of the elite of the Navy. You can't just sign up to be a Navy SEAL. You have to be recommended for it, I'm sure, and then you have to undergo an immense amount of testing and physical challenges, mental challenges in order to be a member of this elite group of military men and women. Our next word is imbibe. Here's our sentence. Since George was the designated driver, he did not imbibe, so another verb, any alcohol that night. So imbibe is just kind of a fancier word for drinking, but the context is usually alcohol. We don't talk about imbibing water or imbibing Gatorade. It's usually with alcohol. So here's a picture to help you remember. We've got somebody pouring some wine into some wine glasses, and the people are going to imbibe wine. We had well, I'm thinking about it, in the Odyssey, that first little section with the Cicones, they were imbibing wine and getting drunk, which is why a lot of them ended up dead and they didn't heed Odysseus's call to leave. Our next word is beget, another verb. Fire begets water by melting ice. Okay, so it's a word that means to produce or to make happen. A synonym is generate. Okay, the opposite is prevent. Begets. It's kind of an old-fashioned word. You see it in the Bible when they talk about the genealogy and how, Adam and Eve beget Cain, Abel, and then Seth. All right, so this is kind of a funny context. Will ask for funny pictures. A nation of sheep will beget a government of wolves. So we've got a wolf here in sheep's clothing. Edward R. Murrow said this quote, and basically it's saying that if people in the country or in a country are cowardly, won't stand up for themselves, just kind of go along with the flow, then it's going to lead to a government of wolves or despots, people who have ultimate control and authority because the people in the country are too afraid to speak up and stand for themselves and let their opinions be heard and known. So that will be produced, beget, to produce. Our next word is educe. Panic educes irrational responses. This is cause and effect context clue strategy. Another verb again, in a people who are ordinarily calm and logical. So if people panic, then irrational or unthinking responses are going to be drawn out of them, or going to be brought out or elicited. Okay, so educe is to draw out or bring out, usually feelings or emotions or sometimes ideas. The opposite is to suppress or hold back. Like if you suppress your feelings, you keep them back. If someone educes your feelings out of you, then you confess to them what you're frustrated with. So here's a picture for educe. How great leaders bring out the best in others. So we've got this funny little picture here. We've got a cat, but if someone comes along and really educes greatness out of the cat, then it then becomes a lion. The great qualities, the strong qualities are educed so that the cat becomes almost larger than life with the lion. Elude with an A. Okay, now not elude, E-L-U-D-E. Okay, because remember, if you elude someone, that's a previous word. It means you can escape, like a criminal tries to elude from the police. Okay, this is elude with an A. You've got to be really careful to know the difference between those two. Pay attention. Do not allude to it when you can describe it in direct, exciting detail. So this is the opposite context clue strategy. Okay, when you are alluding to something, you are not being clear. You're not describing it exactly how it is. Instead, again, a verb, you're hinting at it. You're referring to it indirectly rather than coming straight out and saying exactly what it is. You're suggesting, you're implying, but again, you're not being clear. The opposite would be to expose, because when you expose something, then everything is out in the open. So here's a little meme, or however you say that, that illustrates allude, okay, at least in our class, because many times this year I've alluded to the fact the day before that you would have a pop quiz the next day. I don't come straight out and say, tomorrow you will have a quiz, a pop quiz on vocabulary lesson 5. But I would say things like, you really want to study your vocab words for what I'm giving you for bell work tomorrow. Hint, hint. I've said that many times, so I'm not coming straight out and saying it. I'm alluding to it. And so this picture is kind of funny because it says that moment when you realize you forgot to study for that pop quiz. So that would happen when I've alluded to it, but then you forgot, and then you are surprised the next day. All right, next is feign, yet again, another verb. The politician feigned sympathy, but acted with enmity, using one of our other words from this year. Remember, enmity means hatred. So he's feigning sympathy, or she's feigning sympathy, but they really act with hatred. So if you feign something, you fake it, you pretend, you simulate. So if mom says, mom comes in to get you for school in the morning, and you say, I really don't feel good, okay? But you really just want to get out of school because maybe you didn't finish your homework. Maybe you didn't finish that essay for Mrs. Workman, or maybe you didn't study for your test. You're pretending, you're feigning it, you're feigning illness. Here's a picture from one of my favorite movies from the 80s. Maybe you've seen it, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He takes a day off from school just because he wants to, but he feigns illness. And so here he's giving some advice to kids on how to fake out their parents. Okay, he says, fake a stomach cramp, moan and wail. Oh, I don't feel good, Mom. Lick palms so that your palms are clammy, so it kind of seems like you have a fever. Okay, so feigning illness. Our last word is chafe, yet again, another verb. Over 26 miles of constant running, chafed the marathoner. Cross-country runners might know about this, and slowed his pace to a crawl. So it's a negative thing. It's usually when your skin is irritated through rubbing or friction. Chafed skin. So you have to put some kind of lotion on it to bring about healing. So here's a picture. Unfortunately, this happens a lot to my daughter. Her skin is very sensitive, and so especially in the winter, her hands will look like this. They become chafed, and so I have to buy her expensive lotion, and she has to put lotion on her hands constantly to keep her hands from becoming chafed. All right, this is the end of our lesson for Lesson 8. Make sure you put your honor pledge that you watched and listened to this video at the bottom of exercise 1.